Right now, I am in New York City, in Manhattan, and I'm in front of the Trump Tower. This is the place that was built by the 45th President of the United States, and he has a lot to do with the video you're gonna watch right now.
Before heading into the clearly delicate situation regarding Australia's external politics, we must list the reason for the economic war between China and the United States, a race for the technological and communication developments. Perhaps the conflict between these two countries started with the separation between two giants of the technological industry, Huawei and Google. I bet you probably are watching this video from your smartphone, which further proves of dependence on them. The fact that such important companies announced their separation concerns us all. Huawei is a big manufacturer and Google is a service provider we're deeply affected. The separation between Android and Huawei was announced on May 2019, after President Donald Trump declared that no American company could maintain relations with another Chinese company without a proper permit. Consequently, the attacks did not stop. What was their primary weapon? Custom duties. Between August and September of 2019, the USA went from charging $16 million to nearly $200 million. The global economy is clearly affected, as the conflict has become mutually harmful. As little as duties might be raised by China or America, every bit counts.
Orkinson Huregwer or Rice was the country that depend both economically and personally on the war password, although depending on the economical situation of both countries clear problem, having close relation with the is worse. Australia and example as it is a giant in coal mining. Australia is energy depend on coal and its winnet come as a shock that is one of the greatest economical source of the country. We should also mention that one of the biggest coal mines of the world, Carmichael, is located in Queensland Central. During many independent studies show that between 80 and 90% of its coal is due to the fact that 80.9% of Australia is coal is big explored and 22% of the goes to China.
Since 1974, Australia started to kindle political relations with the Asian country, being able to surpass decades of mistrust towards the Chinese. Although the political exchange has helped on the economic field, this has not been a relationship between two mutually caring countries. Both nations have been having tensions in the recent years, even going as far as to blame each other for the rise of coronavirus. Additionally, the resurgence of mistrust regarding the Chinese immigrants has been very strong. The Chinese grasp has entered the very heart of Australia. This has affected the natives' perception of its population into a negative one, especially in regards to the new political influence caused by Chinese investments. Despite the fight between both nations, Australia has the upper hand regarding its earnings, as exports to China make up at 33.7% of its products, and the imports coming from this country come as a 20.5%. This economic opportunity was made possible by a condition imposed by the European Community in 1973, so that the UK could adhere to it, and Australia, being part of the British Empire, has the liberty to negotiate with outside nations. According to the current situation, Australia, without fully separating from China, has notably changed its discourse into favoring the US. This does not mean that the country has set its mind in regards to its relations, due to the fact that a big part of Australia's political power rests only with China, as their tourists and students spend enormous amount of money in Australian land.
Furthermore, Australia's relationship with the US can be described as a strategic and military one. Australia's defense is completely Americanized, giving a clear advantage to American military contractors. Additionally, the US can use Australia as a strategic point. This country has also put into action a collaboration with the USA military with the war against ISIS. As a result, Australia stands vulnerably as a prime minister of a far-right mindset traduced into an excess of racist nationalism towards China, talk without setting aside the fact that it is their principal buyer and the need to place the US which seeks military control of these commercial routes. American control over the Indo-Pacific means that China has lost. A logical conclusion would be that what's best for Australia is remaining neutral, as cutting relations with any of these countries will be devastating, although its political tendency towards the US shows its possible separation from Asia.
In order to stop a possible diplomatic separation with China, Australia has rulers strengthened its relation with other Indo-Pacific countries such as India, one of the most important economical allies nowadays, which are also of its relation. New, New Zealand comes as in addition to the Australian and American state through the ANZUS. Through this means that a great part of the Indo-Pacific region stands against China.
Despite having one of the most stable economies of the region, Australia depends on two nations which are currently at war. In regards to its defense, it is strong thanks to the US, and in economic terms, it is strong thanks to China. It is funny to think that China pays millions of dollars for Australian exports, who at the same time present a military threat. In this war, Australia definitely cannot pick sides.